Hi there, awesome human. It's Ros Loxon here, and we're up to month 6 of my Best Self Journal. And I would like to re-establish a sense of focus on your intentions. Everything you do is underpinned by your intention, but many of us are not super conscious of what our intentions are. And when we're not super conscious of what our intentions are, sometimes they can be not really our best intentions. They don't come from, our gunny sack or our pool of wiser, more critically thought through intentions. They just come from these automatic sort of intentions. Everything you do and achieve and set out for has an intention underneath it. And so have a look at your intentions. So I would like to also just bring a visual to this moment and to this session of my Best Self Journal, which is month 6, week 1, month 6. But I just wanted to remind us and tether us back into what is going to pull us forward toward our best self. And it's all of these awarenesses about what is our best self, what are we made up of, how does this biology actually really work. And so let's have a look at your intentions. What are your intentions when you woke up this morning? When you woke up, you've got a whole day in front of you. What were your intentions for that day? What are your intentions when you have any conversation? If you're in a conflict, what are your intentions for going through the My Best Self Journal? So tapping back into your intentions. What I wanted to say there was it's almost like in our field, in our whole biology, we have got this board of directors, right, in our whole field. And those board of directors, some of them are our leading edge, some of them are in our personality front-facing leading edge, and other parts of those board of directors are more in the background, more in our subconscious. Some of them are more in the shadows. And all of these board, members on the board are directing our actions, thoughts, emotions, lack of actions, everything that makes up our biology, everything that says to us, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to think this, now I'm going to feel this. Everything that it's like your inside programs are run by these boards of directors. And as I said, some are front facing, some of them you can really name quite easily, and others are in the background. And I'm really conscious about you becoming quite aware of all of those board of directors. They can be named as values, they can be named as beliefs. So just really bringing that back into your attention. Try to name your board of directors, and then, try to be more conscious and wise and critically thinking about, okay, with those board of directors, who really gets to make which of your life decisions? Because sometimes when we are suffering our mental health or, our spiritual wellness, it can be that, the background board of directors are, leading edge too much, making too much of our decision, talking to us in a way to say that, we can't do something, or we're not capable in this space, or in this moment, that board of directors in the background is saying, oh, you need to be, cranky right now, or you need to attack that person right now, you need to defend yourself right now, you need to feel sad right now, you need to feel depleted and empty and self-abandoned right now. I'm going for the bad, low-hanging, horrible things that we go through, but everybody does. And so just being mindful about, hang on, these board of directors, there's a long table, and there's some on this side and some on that side. Some are in the shadows and subconscious, and some are up the front in our front leading edge personality. And a lot of the work that you would do with someone like myself, like a life coach or a mindset coach or any kind of therapist that has trained in social sciences and psychology and mindset and all of those things, will be helping you to understand who's navigating your stories and your behaviors in the background that you're maybe not so in the foreground conscious about. And this becoming conscious of it allows you to just have more ability and more self-empowerment over which of those board of directors are going to step up and be your leading edge behavior partner in every moment. So tapping back into the beginning of the journal, what are your intentions for being your best self? What would your greatest intentions for yourself be? So it says tap into your heart. Okay, you have to sometimes put your actual hand on your heart space, your heart chakra, and just pull yourself out of your thinking brain and you're up in the head too much. And a lot of us do suffer from that. Depends on your human design, depends on your habits. But we really do need them to be equal share. Heart actually having the main share. It's like your heart is your parent, So holding your hand on your heart, it's like your soul, and tapping back into your heart's real purpose for being here, its real desires for being on this planet, and holding an acceptance for yourself and for your heart, soul self, holding a sense of acceptance for that is unwavering, an acceptance for who and where you are right now. Some of us are in a place where we're not really happy. We're not happy with who we are or where we are at right now. And we might even bully ourselves. We might even self-reject, or we might get defensive and become a bit narcissistic. And it's not a balance. It's not a balance. It's not a real operation and a real transmission of what's truly in your heart and what your heart's purpose is for your life in this incarnation. Hear the kookaburras, the birds are out. So if it feels too hard to be really uber 100% self-accepting with the nuances of who you are and what your heart is, then I invite you to start being willing to be willing. Maybe you don't feel 100% willing to cut yourself some slack and just feel relief and to feel self-acceptance for you and all of your good and not perfect parts. Just being in that full self-loving, self-acceptance place. No self-rejection. If you're not there to be willing to feel what it feels like some point in this journey. So meet yourself just where you're at, even if you're not quite able to be 100% in your body, 100% in your heart, 100% there for yourself in all the ways. That meet yourself where you're at. And from this self-supportive place, ask yourself, what are my grandest intentions for my best self yearly journal? What are my best intentions? And have a relationship with getting that close to yourself and getting that aware of what's really alive inside you. What are your true flames, not your conditioned flames. So we're up to month 6, and I'm just going to read the overview of month 6 for you. Month 6. Now, that might be June, but I started this journal late in the year, and I think we're in August right now. But it's the 6th month of this journal. You start this journal whenever you want. You start this journal January, February, March, April, May, whatever month of the year. Just start in month 1, and then when you finish, you can start all over again. It's a journal that you can revisit every year or every second year. With the new level of where you're at. Each time we up level, we find new demons. It's like new level, new devil. So it's a constant journey to keep up leveling and to keep ourselves as our best self. And I think that about forgiveness too. It's been on my mind that you don't forgive once. Forgiveness is an attitude, and so if you need to forgive, you need to learn to understand what forgiveness is and be a forgiving person, and you have to keep forgiving over and over again. It's not a one-trick pony, Either is self-growth and self-healing. You have to keep doing it because life keeps coming on to you, So tap back into what are your grandest intentions for your best self yearly journal. we don't see life as it is. What we actually see is our filtered perspective of life. What you think you're seeing, you just kind of might imagine that's what everyone else is seeing, but it absolutely is not. It isn't. So you've got filters, and all of those boards of directors have their own nuanced way of viewing life. And so you have got these filters that you see every situation through, and then you make meaning from those filters. It filters things in and it filters things out. So if you have a slightly pessimistic filter, the filter will reveal pessimistic things in life, negative, lower vibrating things, or opinions or beliefs or anything. What you see is going to be the shape of the filter, and that shape is emotional, physical, mental, it's all the things. If you have an optimistic set of filters, the filters will reveal the positives in life, the potentials in life, despite the hardships. This month, focus on your relationship with vision. And so in the chakra system, vision is the 6th chakra. So we've gone from root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, vision. So vision encapsulates also intuition, your insight, your perspectives, perceptions, the way you filter life. I saw an image today, and it was on a 1-second loop, and it was 2 photos, and it was the world from a really space perspective, looking at the world. And it's like at the top of one of the pictures, it said, the world if you have a negative view of life. And then this picture was the world, and it said the world if you have a positive perspective of life. But both worlds looked exactly the same. The world doesn't change, it's your perspective that changes. Start adapting your mindset perspective toward asking this question: what's actually good about this? I'm going through some extremely emotionally sad, dense times at the moment, supporting some of my family who are in deep mental health trouble, alcoholism, and cancer, with not many months to live. And there's lots going on in that space, and I'm kind of a support in that space. So it's hard and heavy and sad. And I invite anybody to ask, what's good about this? Now, it's not good that anyone in my family's got alcoholism or mental health disorders or cancer. Nothing's good about that. But I can look at a broader perspective of life and say, what's good about this? And I don't, just off the top of my head, I can say it makes my awareness of my own health heightened. It makes my gratitude for my own health heightened. And perhaps now I'll take more care of myself and have more appreciation for all the beauty and wellness in my life, So what's good about this is about taking some of that internal bias that might automatically get hijacked by negativity and start to build the muscle of optimism, build the muscle of positivity that helps you in a sustainable way, because life keeps happening and life is big and it's wonderful, but it's also tragic. And so being able to hold an opinion of yourself and hold an opinion of the world that helps you to be your best self in all of those situations is what I'm here for. So start adapting that mindset perspective toward what is good about this in any situation, even when the worst things are happening. Not to bypass bad emotions. You're not trying to avoid feeling sad or feeling disappointed or any of the negative feelings, but you want to foster a broader, more expanded perspective muscle that will contribute to you being your best self in a very strange, unpredictable world. The saying at the bottom of the page, a little quote down there today says, what we appreciate, appreciates. What we appreciate grows. Health, wealth, peace, joy, love. Thank the things you want to attract more of. Thank them. Thank them for coming your way. Thank them for, seeing you and knowing that they're going to be journeying towards you. The bigger the gratitude, the bigger the bliss. The more gratitude you have for everything you already do have in your life, the more bliss you're feeling. So I say build a bliss filter. What's blissful about this? I walk around my backyard and I'm like, what's blissful about this? That tree, amazing, that. And I look for bliss. And it's amazing. If you have a bliss filter that every day you're looking for something blissful, then your life has more bliss in it. So we want solutions, but what we really need are attitudes. We don't need abs, but rather an attitude of training. You don't need the answers, but rather an attitude of curiosity. You don't need an easier life, but rather an attitude of perseverance. Attitudes will precede our outcomes. That is a quote by James Clear from Atomic Habits. So week 1, the journal prompt for week 1 of month 6 is, this week contemplate and reflect on your relationship with truth. What is truth? This is a very profound, deep journal. And this is how we reach our best self. This is how we become so empowered and so healthy and so healed that we no longer fall into bear traps, the bear traps of life that we actually set up for ourselves because we don't understand our own self deeply enough. We fall into the bear traps of not the right job, not the right relationship, not the right anything, and then the pain that comes with realizing it's wrong and having to correct the life trajectory that you're on. You are the living result of the story that you are buying into about yourself. It's so easy to feel the smallness sometimes of your life, or if you're Donald Trump, the bigness of his life. He really believes his own unusual rhetoric about how amazing he is. And I'm not picking on Donald Trump at all, but it goes both ways. You can have a false perception of how good you are or a false perception of how small you are. So it does go both ways. We want to find the sweet spot, of your unique gifts and genius. When is a story actually true? What makes a story true? Really contemplate that. What makes a story true? We're very conditioned. We're very, very conditioned. I grew up in a very conditioned, almost cultish kind of Christian religion. And there's a lot of talk about truth in the language of that religion. And so, for me, what is truth, and to you, what makes something true? Everything's made up, really, isn't it? What beautiful story do you know is true about your best self? What beautiful story do you know is true? This week, please contemplate. I totally invite you to really contemplate and reflect and journal on how you decide and how you know what is actually a truth. Now journal that out. There's a bit of page there to journal that out. If you need to get more paper, get more paper. There's another journal there, which is just more pages to journal in if you're someone who needs a lot more space. There's a second part to each question each week, and the second part of this week's question about your relationship with truth. This is really all about how you see things, so we're still up in vision. The second part of the question is, how do you ground your insights? If you get breakthroughs, which I'm here for, right? If you get insights and ahas and breakthroughs by journaling, how do you actually ground that information and make it a part of your embodied self? And you don't just, learn I saw that and I got that insight, but you don't do anything with it, so you stay the same. You've got to take an action. So what habit, what belief, what behavior can you let go of when you're finally okay being 100% true to your unique, authentic, best self? It's not an easy task finding out and really coming to peace with what are your natural genius areas of genius, because many of us, me included, I'm a 6'2" in human design, and a line 2 just assumes that everyone can do what they can do. A line 2 has this sense of they don't really see their own genius because it's just natural to them, and they assume that other people can do it. It's not such a big deal. And what they need is people to call that out and to go, you realize that you actually have quite naturally a genius at this or this, and this is one of the nuances of being a line 2 in human design. It's called the hermit, where you have natural genius and people need to call you out for that. Often you're not going to see it yourself. Jump on my website, rosalindlockton.com.au, and do the free human design chart and see what profile you are. 100% work with human design all of the time now, because when it comes to your self-awareness, human design is a massive cheat sheet. It really, there's a lot of breakthrough and aha just in getting your free chart. So I highly recommend that. So that's week 1. I hope you thoroughly enjoy and get great insight from that. And as always, I like to remind people that I encourage you to be a facilitator of a best self journal circle group. Where are my words? Like a mastermind group or a women's circle or a mixed circle group. This is the facilitator's journal, so it's that slightly lilac color one. And that will guide you through how to hold monthly meetings using this as the tool that people are using to journal through. So you can be the facilitator, and when you are working in circle, magic happens. So I highly encourage you to become a facilitator of a circle group. It's up to you how you run that, if it's free or if there's a fee for it, if it's online or if it's face-to-face. You do you, but there's a special book created for you. Until next week, when we're up to week 2 of month 6, I wish you massive encouragement, big love for your best self and your best life. I'll see you next week.